It's time to wind down, time to wise up. Discussing life, exploring the word, gaining wisdom with encouraging words. It's time for Tea with Tiff.
Good evening and welcome to Tea Time with Tiff. I'm your host, Tiffany Henderson, and let me just tell you, I am so excited. I'm geeked. I'm elated. I'm out of this world because I have the world-renowned, the illustrious, the incomparable, Brittany Barber. Come on, somebody. We got Brittany Barber on the show. Let me tell you how excited this is for me, how groundbreaking this is. I have been looking forward to this time for a very long time. I didn't even tell her that I've been watching her for so long, and I have been seeing the work that you have been doing, and I'm so impressed by you. Okay. And I think the world needs to know about you. So tonight you're gonna learn all things Brittany, and you're gonna figure out tonight what the Monday is Tuesday is all about, which is the whole thing. So before we go further, I want you to please make sure you follow me on Facebook, Tiffany Henderson, Instagram, I am Tiffany Henderson, Twitter, @ProphetTiffany. Share this program. Make sure you chat with us. Brittany and I will be live chatting with you. Any questions you have for her or me, but more so her, make sure you put it in the chat tonight so we can respond. This is going to be a good show tonight about what it really means to create pathways for others, because Brittany is a true community leader. She's a true organizer, someone who can get the people galvanized to do something great, because she does great things. I'm really a fan. So she just needs to know I'm a real.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about you. I'm a real fan, and let me tell you how this got started, like this love affair that I have with her. Some years ago, I had my niece Taylor. She was like, "Auntie, I'm in the play." I'm like, "Okay." And she said, and Brittany's doing this. I was like, "Who's Brittany?" And she was like, "You don't know Brittany?" No, I don't know Brittany. And then, of course, my friend Kim, one of my producers, Kim was like, "Brittany Barber, Prophet, I know you." I'm like, "No, I don't know who Brittany Barber is." And then it was like every time I stopped, somebody was like, "It was Brittany Barber." And I was like, "Well, who is that? Like, why is everybody keep telling me about this young lady?" And then, of course, as a trustee for the library, I was at the library. We had an event. We had a Black History Month event. And so as a trustee, I have to go and make sure I wave at the people, say hello. And then all of a sudden, our keynote speaker is none other than Brittany Barber. And I'm like, wow. So I get to see her up close and in person, because clearly she is awesome, because even the library has her speaking at our events. And then I go, I'm like, "Hi, I'm Tiffany." And, she was like, "Hi, I heard about you." I'm like, "I heard about you. Like, I don't know nothing about."
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just a really short meeting when I met you and your husband and daughter, and I was like, wow, and she blew us all away. Like the speech that she gave, the encouragement that she released, everyone in the room could feel the energy coming from her, like, we gotta do something. Everybody said, "We gotta do something." And I'm like, man, how come I didn't know about you before? So from there, it was I was on a mission to really get to know who you were. And I don't really know how we connected again. Did I call you? Did I figure out?
Somebody
I
called
probably
somebody.
stalked her.
We
I
had
think I
lunch.
stalked her.
Did you?
I think I
Okay.
did. I think I stalked you.
She stalked me.
And then I was like, yeah. So and we went out to lunch and ate, and then that's really when I was like, yeah, she's the real deal. So tonight you're going to hear from the real deal, someone who knows what it means to lead, because this is Women's History Month, and I'm all about elevating women to levels where they can really show what they can do and lead others. And you are a bona fide leader. The mark of a bona fide leader is when people want to follow you and people want to emulate what you do, and they tell other people about who you are and what you do clearly, because I learned of you from other people who said, no, she's someone you should know because this is what she's doing. And it had nothing to do with, obviously you're funny and you're great, but it was your leadership that got people in line. Like, no, I'm working with Brittany because she's doing this. And so I want to make sure that I do my part to say, you are amazing. And wow. I am proud of the leader that you are and how you help other people, specifically young people. You are a bright light. Wow. And you shine for everybody. And I'm just happy to have you on the show.
And cut.
Listen, and this is not even a gassing situation. Like, this is real. And I think more people need to do that. People need to be more honest and not be so concerned about, people are like, well, she said all this about her. Why can't we lift each other up? Why can't we be more encouraging? We're so,
talk about it.
I hate it.
Mm-hmm. Tell me.
I hate it when people are so, when their esteem is so low, they can't lift anyone else up. And I'm like, wow, you probably need some help, because if you can't figure out how to encourage your sister, if you can't figure out how to say, hey, you are the bomb, like, what's wrong with you? There's a problem that you have if you're constantly critical and not recognize greatness when you see it.
Right.
So that's all this is about.
Okay.
Because I recognize greatness when I see it.
Well, amen.
And I want to do something about it. So, please.
Now it's mutual. Yes. Yes.
So, please tell us what you want us to know about you.
Oh, man. That's that loaded interview question.
It is a loaded one. It's a loaded one.
Tell us about yourself.
So you can start with, you can start with your family, because I'm going to get to other stuff. Tell me about your family. Tell me about where you're from and how you got to this point.
Sure. So I was actually born in Baltimore, Maryland.
Wow.
So I'm from the East Coast. Yeah. But I've been here since like developmental years. So I don't even think it counts anymore. But I lead with, I'm from the East Coast. So I was born, my hair falling down. So
I can't.
Was born in Baltimore, Maryland. We've been here since the 4th grade. I'm from Elgin. But I really never felt home in Elgin. I don't think I've ever really felt home in any place. I've always felt like a nomad or just like an alien passing through. So I wish somebody would have showed me that verse about like, this not really your home. Like, where were you when I was 16 in the struggle, right? So anyway, so growing up in Elgin, been here most of my life. I am currently married to my best friend, Rodney Jermaine Barber, whole government. And I have a little giant, we call her. Her name is Nina Bean. I'm just gonna take this down.
It's all right.
Her name is Nina Bean. And so ever since I've been in Elgin, I have been trying to leave Elgin, as I think a lot of people start off, right? Like I hate this place.
Yes.
It was a rough time for me. So contrary to popular belief, I'm an introvert, right? So I'm an introvert, which I took all the tests, all the Enneagrams. I'm an introvert.
Yes.
And I'm also really creative, and I'm a kingdom kid, right? So I'm like a weirdo and an introvert. So it's like all of the things. And one time, so I hated high school. I hated Elgin. I escaped Elgin after my junior year because I graduated early, right? And I ran off to the University of Pittsburgh.
You just kind of just went through that real fast. You graduated from high school early.
I did.
So you one of the real smart people.
I
love it.
In truth, I forgot I was smart, but that's a whole nother message. Legit, that's a whole nother.
Did you just say you forgot you were smart?
I did. I literally, this is literally last year, so 2020. I called my mom and I was like, was I gifted as a child? And she was like, yes, you.
I cannot.
What? Kid you? Because I was having a mental break. So I'm going for my doctorate, right? And the doctorate is a mental minefield, right? Just every time you turn around. And so I'm at the place, right? I'm at the comp exam, And every day I'm like, no, I'm done, Lord. No, I can't. No, it's a mistake. They're going to find out. I'm going to turn in the exam, and they're going to find out in 3 years she fooled us. She's stupid. So I was like, no, I can't do it. No. Right? So I'm like having this whole breakdown. I'm having anxiety attacks in class, turning off my camera like, God, I can't. They're going to think I'm dumb, I'm stupid, and I'm ugly, but at least I'm pretty. And then I was praying one day, and God was like, yo, you're gifted. And I was like, stop playing with me. So I called my mom because I'm like, was it God or was it just me trying to boost my self-esteem? And she was like, yo, you've been gifted since like first grade. And she just wouldn't let them move me ahead because she didn't want me to get a complex. So I couldn't. Black moms. Like, wait a minute.
Like, so you held me back because you didn't want me to get considered. Where did you do that? Okay.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
So back to the story. So I went to University of Pittsburgh, graduated early, and just ran amok. Like a hot, messy muck, like a hot, toddy muck.
A hot toddy muck.
Sorry, hot tea toddy muck. And like I lost my scholarship. Like my mother.
You was clowning.
It was bad. It was bad. Which is why I think I rock with students now, because I get it. I really get it. So I was a mess. Managed to graduate on time, praise the Lord.
Come on.
And with my scholarship, right?
Yes.
Black moms again. And so I somehow end up back at Elgin. I'm like, well, Lord.
Wait, where'd you go
right?
to school at?
University of Pittsburgh. So
okay.
all the way away, right? All the way. And I'm like, I'm going to stay that way. I end up back here because I wasn't responsible, right? So I didn't look for a job until I graduated, right? So tip, don't do that. And so I get back to Elgin, and I'm like, well, what are we going to do now, Lord? So I start like working at Best Buy, and I'm working at Von Maur. Von Maur fired me for the record.
I like that store. I used to buy stuff from
Don't
there.
go there no more.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Von Maur fired me. No, I'm playing. So I get fired from my first job because I couldn't make the sales. They're very strict. And they make you wear stockings. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. You had to wear
In the summer, it wasn't no excuse. You had to wear stockings, you had to wear skirts to the knees, and you had to make like bank on sales. Otherwise, they fire you. So I got fired in stockings from Von Maur. So from Von Maur, I get my way to Best Buy, and then I apply like by accident to DeVry. And so I start working at DeVry, and that's how I got into education. Like, and I guess the rest is history.
I mean, like, that's a good story, though.
And as I'm talking, I'm like, where do we end? Where do we come to there, DeVry?
Wow,
Yep.
at DeVry. So we're talking, this is important because Brittany has an imprint here in our region, here in our area, where she has created so many different avenues for young people to excel, college students to grow. All of the young people that I know have all been connected to her. You just have a way of connecting. Even so much like you were the keynote speaker for the what's it called last week? What's it called?
U46 resisting or not resisting resilience. The honoree black students. I can't think of the name right now.
U46 was honoring all of the honor roll students. From the 6th, 8th, and 12th grade. My daughter was one. Hey. And she was excited, though. She was like, she was really good. She was, you inspired her. Oh. And she, like normally like these types of events and stuff, she don't really pay attention. And I was surprised because she was like sitting at her computer watching the whole thing.
Wow.
Like you captivated. It was. you had a real speech, but it was captivating though. And I think that we need more people like you, who not only can you captivate an audience, but you can lead them somewhere great. And that's what you have done. So one of the things that you can do, like if you want to know about Brittany, first of all, because she's going to tell you about this, she has a blog. And what's the name of the blog?
So the blog, well, it used to be a written blog. Now it's really a video blog. It's
Monday is Tuesday. It's a vlog, right. So the Monday is Tuesday. Yeah. It's so Good. So I want you to tell us, what is the Monday is Tuesday?
Oh man, so the Monday is Tuesday is your favorite part of Tuesday, where we literally fire hose you with something to think about or something to do or a new way to see yourself that charge you up for the week. And so the whole idea is everybody trips out and sets goals on Monday, right? Like, I'm gonna do it on Monday, and then we miss Monday, right? We think, oh, the whole week was a mess because I done messed up. So I was like, yo, Tuesday needs some love too. So I was talking with my husband, like, how do I encourage people? He was like, yo, the Monday is Tuesday. And I was like, it's so crazy, but it might work. So literally, I just hopped on Facebook Live and just started just encouraging people, just live every Tuesday, and that's what we do.
And you can have a Monday is Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
Where you could be encouraged, because this is what you do, and this Monday is Tuesday is like what I see is what you're doing now as a way to reach the masses, but it's based really, as I see it, on what you've been doing with young people all this time. So at her last school that she worked at, she created an HBCU fair for the students, and she had an exchange program. And I want you to explain what that is, because I don't really know exactly what it is. I just know you asked me to come speak there, but I don't remember exactly what it was about. So tell us about. So anyway, she works with college students, and she encourages them. Like, you made sure that Taylor made it. Like, you were very, very integral in her making it. And I mean, like, you don't even know the impact. Like, you helped so many people. So many people. So tell us about the exchange program and what that really was and how that works.
Sure. So 5 years after the ride, I end up at ECC. 3 years later, I end up in this role.
And ECC is, for everybody who's not from here.
Yes, for the masses. Elgin Community College
Yes.
in Elgin, Illinois. So I end up at Elgin Community College, and I get hired for this new position, Student Life Coordinator for Targeted Populations. And that basically meant I was responsible for all the black kids. Like, that was my job in a nutshell. Look out for all of them, all 400 of them. It's just all of them, yours. And so I had to help retain them, right? And help engage them, and help to increase African American retention at the institution. And so that left the ball just wide open. Like, that was the basic job description. I was supposed to create a peer mentoring program, but I had so much creative liberty in what that would look like. And so I'm a firm believer in, like, I can't necessarily teach you something new. Like, I can't make you, but I can help pull you up, right?
Come on.
And I had this idea that, like, this is an exchange. So I could talk to a student and be like, dang, you taught me something. Like, wait, let me get a notepad. So it was just this whole idea of, like, what if I can help them realize that you got the juice too, and then you bring your juice and I bring my juice, and we can get juicy together. You know what I'm saying? We can do this thing and get saucy. So that was the main premise behind it, right? And I wanted it to be something that, because, you know, higher education institutions were not built with Black, Indigenous, people of color in mind, right? So the whole idea was, we're going to create not just a nook, right? Because I was over the Black student achievers, right? So we had like this little nook across from my office, but I was like, how can I get more? Like, can I get a Black hallway? Can I get a dorm? Like, I was just thinking crazy. So it became our way of taking up as much space as we could that was really centered in Blackness. Like, that was the norm. Our culture was the center of all the conversations. Our slang was a center of our games, our cultural nuances. Like, that was all of what we did. Our field trips stemmed around that, right? We had guests that would come in that ideally were gonna look like them as well.
Yeah.
And so it really became this space of encouraging them to persist and then equipping them with the skills that they would need to ultimately transfer. So that was, and then they got paired with a peer mentor as well. So we would take a upperclassman student and pair them with a newer student. And the original mission was to have, you know, a newer student or a student that wasn't doing as well academically paired with a student that was older or that was doing well academically. And we just had so many students that just wanted in that we just opened the doors to everybody. So it was kind of like, if you want it, come and get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Like, and the fact that you were that you think on a higher plane, like, and instead of just saying, because a lot of people get their job and they just do their job. But whereas you took it and said, no, I have to figure out how I can really make this make this work and really help these students matriculate successfully.
Yeah. And then I got selfish in a good way, because my job was to retain African American students, but I wanted to connect everybody together. So my job kind of started to morph into like a diversity equity role, where I was doing stuff with the Muslim students. We were doing stuff like partnering with the LGBTQ students. We were like having these diversity conversations about race. So it started to become I want my kids to be cool, but I want all of my kids to be cool too. So we started to figure out how can we partner and make all of us be involved in this space.
Wow. So clearly, like, this is your jam.
Yeah.
Are you still working in this area now?
So I'm not still in Elgin, I'm in Carroll Stream. I work for a after school program right now. So I still work with historically marginalized students, but I work with middle schoolers now.
Wow, really? Like, like my middle schooler.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. It's so different, but like a good different. I mean, it's different. It is my fault. It's my fault. I prayed for it and I was like, yo, what was I? Because like I had ran a theater class for middle school. I was like, I rock with middle school. Because I felt like no offense to any middle schoolers in the audience right now. But I felt like middle school is a confusing place. You don't know where to be. You know who you are. Nobody else knows what to do with you. They're like, is it Disney? Is it fast? Can we do rated R? I don't know. What are you? Right? So I was like, yo. Middle school is such a critical place, right? And I knew at college they were getting to me so late. Like this was what jolted me. I had a young man in my office and I called him smart, right? And I just kept feeling like, just keep saying that. Like, you're smart, you're smart. He broke down crying. This thick, burly young man is crying in my office because I'm the first person to tell me smart, right? And I got so mad. Like, I ran to Miss Fountain's office. I know you know Miss Fountain.
Of course. I love her.
Yo,
love her. I'm about to get her on the show next.
Yo,
yes.
That's my mama.
Yes.
That's mama, I love you. So I ran to her office and I was like, I'm just so mad. I can't do nothing. I know what I'm doing to have these black children. I just can't take it no more. That was the moment, right? That was the way. I was like, God, it's not enough. Okay, it's not enough. So I started doing some research, and they were talking about how critical 8th grade was, right? To set them up for 9th grade, to get them into these good paths, to get to college really ready, right? Yeah. So I was like, God, I want to get to middle schoolers. I just gotta meet the best. If I get to them sooner, all the stuff we could do, God. And he was like, cool, quit your job. And I was like, now? Okay, because my savings, Lord. So I quit my job, right, in September 2019, and I left my baby. I left my kids, right? And I'm like, it's gotta be juicy for me to leave my babies, right? So 9 months later, it's like having a child, I get this job at this after school program. And I'm like, this is it, God. This is what I wanted. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. These kids gonna learn their history, because it's like Burmese kids, Latinx kids, black. I'm like, let's do this. Let's do this. And I'm like, I go in the first 2 weeks, and these kids don't care. They are like, learning for what? Like, where's the gym? Like, we don't do this. Just devastated.
Just devastated.
And I was like, but Lord, this was my dream. This was my
dream. Like, how are you doing this in my dream?
Right. Like, why don't they care? Like, I was sent here. And these kids do not care. But here's the beautiful thing. I'm humbled every day, because I'm like, they don't care. They don't care about me, and that's okay. They don't have to care about me. But it has made me, I think, a better educator and a better speaker, right? Because it's not my job to say what you want me to say, right? It's my job to say what I'm supposed to say, right? Yeah. So I can't look for the applause. I can't look for you to like what you need. I gotta give you what you need.
Oh, that's
so
good. That's
they training me. They great.
Ooh,
in their own way, they great.
Wow. So what do you think is next for this? Like, now that you're here, you're learning, you're being humbled every day. Listen, I'm humbled every day because I live in one. I'm like, really? I mean, like, she comes from my life every day. Like, I mean, mom, your mom, you don't.
Like, I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
like last week.
They would tell you about yourself all
Yeah.
the time.
You ever get corrected using slang while you using it? Because
Yes.
that slang is old, but the new slang came out. And
Mom, like, why are you saying that?
Yeah,
I never forget when I said something and I was like, oh yeah, something, no cap. And she was like, you can't say that. Why can't I say that?
That's so disrespectful.
It was so disrespectful. Like, you say it all the time.
Like, if I know the word, I can use it. That's
I know,
how
and I use it correctly in a sentence.
Right. Give me something.
Listen,
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, they did that, no cap. She was like, ew, mom, no.
Yeah.
They be coming for your
feel
life.
That. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You get on my nerves. So this is good. I'm glad that you're still working with them. I want to talk about how you have been intentional about creating pathways for other people. So the thing that comes to mind, obviously, is the plays that you put on, you know, and obviously the fair, the HBCU fair, but the Sick of Almost conference. That was something that I know was helpful. Like, even, you know, just, I know you brought in my own other daughter, Kiera, for the Sick of Almost conference, and I would love to hear more about how you came up with these types of things and why.
Sure. It really stems down to probably two core things that probably drive me. So I told y'all I was a weird kingdom kid, and I didn't even know I was part of the kingdom yet. I just thought I was weird. So I was rejected a lot. Like, I was always I didn't write, like, you know, you just didn't fit anywhere quite right. And so coming from that and knowing the awful decisions I made, right, to try to heal myself out of that, I have a sensitive spot for anybody who feels in this, like, I don't fit place, right? So even with middle schoolers, it's like, you get on my nerves, but like, I relate. Like, I get this frustration of like, I don't know where to fit. I don't know what to, and I realize I have a passion for people in this middle passage place, right? So community college kids, I don't quite know where I fit, where to go. I feel like I'm in limbo. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be living or dying here. I'm just in that waiting period. You know what I mean? Like, so I have a passion for anybody who could easily fall into feeling like their position is a rejected position. And then the other thing is, I'm a theater kid, if you couldn't tell. So thank you. So everything that we did to make something work, you needed a team. You don't do this show by yourself.
Right.
So that's kind of like inculcated in me. It's just, I don't know how to go by myself. I don't know how to, even though I love being by myself, introvert, I don't know, right, how we could actually believe that anything of what we're doing is a product of just our own self. It's just not possible, right? So even like I used to be a huge fan of Drake, you know, and if I ever meet him, I'm still a huge fan of Drake, right? Like, I don't listen to him as much, but I like you. So I'm a huge fan of Drake, and I used to like really contemplate, like, in every verse he would be talking about, like, I did it by myself, I did this by myself, da, da, da. And I was like, I know, but you did it.
From the bottom, but
now we here, right? And I think it comes from this concept of like it's okay to go with, right? You don't have to be by yourself, and understanding that a lot of the kids that I work with, like, that's the mentality, right? Like, because if you come with, you either gonna want to take something I got, or you're gonna drop me like everybody else did, or, you know, you're not gonna really be for real. Like, so the desire is just to be community, the community that I didn't have growing up, but also be the community that I understood that you needed to make anything really work. So, yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, it's just the more you talk, the more I'm like, this woman is an apostle. Like, this is ridiculous. Wow.
Next question.
Wow. Do you know that's how you have to think? Like, literally, you have to be a trailblazer, one who goes before the people, set the tone, and bring people with you, show them how they fit in a greater scheme so that you can accomplish a real goal.
I can turn the air back on.
What? Wow. Strategist. Like, and wow. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, yeah.
That is amazing. I can't right now.
like it's like that moment, like, did I put deodorant on? I don't know.
We having too much But for real, it's your like your intentionality of like that right. People, as you know, as you just said, most people do not think of the whole. They always think of themselves. Most people who are not apostolic will always think of themselves first and how they can get, it's all about me and mine and how I can do what I need to do. Because of course, you're not going to take from me. You're not going to take what belongs to me. But real apostolic people think about, no, we have a goal. We have to get here. Yeah. We have to get here. Not just me, but we have to get here. And this is the vehicle we need to take at this moment. This is what we need. We need Sick of Almost. We need HBCU fairs. We need Monday is Tuesday so we can start all over. I need to come up with a vlog to help people, to encourage people to be able to do what they've been called to do. I mean, I don't even know how you're not even saying this. This is quite amazing. Yeah. An exchange program. This is an exchange where I give you what you need so that you can, and you're going to give me some things that I need, but so that we can all get where we need to go together. Like, you have to transition. You have to transition to the next phase. And I'm going to work with you until you do, because I need us to elevate together. Do you not see yourself? Okay. It's fine.
And it's
fine. It's cool. This
is Brittany.
Because this is what I do. That's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. This was. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That I knew it. I knew it was a reason I liked you. I tell you, golly. Listen, I want to stick with these youth because obviously we got a lot of them. Girl, I'm not listening.
I'm here.
We're gonna talk about this after the show. I just want you to know it's gonna have a whole after show. Okay. So let's get back to these kids. In your experience, whether they be in 8th grade or freshmen in college, what do you think are the key barriers for youth in succeeding and seeing themselves how the Father sees them?
Oh man,
what do you think is like the key barrier to that?
Yeah. Oh God, I'm trying to think how to put that in a simple term. The key barrier for them being successful. I think the key barrier for me is this absence of identity, right? So I'm trying to like get it out there the way I once said this in an interview and I didn't get the job, so I feel like I threw away the answer. But like, this is really helpful because they were like, okay. Because I was like, no, they need identity. Wasn't my door.
This is a safe space. This is a
right,
safe
but
zone.
it's this whole identity piece. Like I think, especially when you think of students of color, right? There's an absence of us in any space, right? There's an absence of us. Now it's almost like we're made to believe that we came out of thin air. Like, and then when we showed up, we were in chains. Like that was the idea that God had. Like, okay, they're gonna start off invisible, but I'm gonna show them in chains. Like that's you know what I'm saying? So this whole idea, like they don't know enough about what had happened, what's happened before, and not just the desperation part, right? Like the joy and the fight and you know. So it's this, for me, it's the absence of the identity piece, right? And I think that like that's it, because when I think of me at 16 and before 16, I had this tiny curiosity about God. Like it wasn't tiny, but it was just like a little sliver of like, man, I think when I pray, somebody listening to me, you know? Or like, I remember one time this plane, like we needed to travel somewhere and like a big storm cloud came in. And I was just standing at the window like, God, it would just be great this storm cloud left. Like I don't want the plane to be delayed. Like I want us to go up and it's like, I don't want to rush it. But like, if you can make this storm cloud go away, it would be great. And then it left, right? And I was like, back away from the window, right? Like, whoa, right? And so going to tell my mom, like, yo, I think I just prayed away the storm, like, you know, and you know what I mean? And like for some, like it would have been like, this is nothing against my mom, right? Because we don't know what we don't know, right? So she didn't know at the time that like, yo, point her back to the one that made her this weird being, right? So she can start to see him and then she will see herself, right? Yeah. So they need to see record. They need to see receipts. And I don't think there's enough receipts that we show them. Like, I don't think there's enough proof that they see on a regular, not on like a Black history level, right? Not on like a curricular level, but like I need to know it before I ask. So I need to know it proactively. I need you to, or like if you think about every time in the Bible, right? So every time the Israelites messed up, right? It's because they didn't know the story.
Yes.
They didn't know what happened before. So somebody dropped the ball because you didn't tell them who we were. Right? So identity, the core of the word, identity starts with sameness. I got to mirror something first. So we don't give them anything to mirror, right? So I need a mirror, and I need a good mirror. Not you, but like you are not a good mirror. Give me God, and that's going to be my good mirror, right? Give me a book, give me heroes that look like, and don't just give me the heroes that like, this Black hero invented the stoplight. Like that's so... Okay, like give me. This is Tiffany Henderson, and she's a beast at taxes, and she also is a prophet, and she live up the street. Give me that. Relax, okay? So identity. That's my final answer.
But I agree.
Okay, thank you. It's like, did I lose it? Okay.
No. It's one of the biggest fails, I think, in our current society, because I see it, and not just in our youth and our children. I see it in a whole bunch of grown adults who clearly don't know who they are. Their identity has been stripped from them, and then they begin to assume the identity of others that they should not. They begin to try to mimic behaviors based on what they think they want, or what they think people want to know or see from them, which causes even more problems. Right. So identity is definitely...
And then they think they got to go out to find it.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I feel like it was probably with Taylor I was having this conversation. Like, why would, especially a believer person, like, so I can't speak to everybody else, but like, why would God, like, make you, right? But then make you have to, like, go out to get you. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I...
Go out and get you.
Why would I... So when people be like, I'm out finding myself. Where? Where? Who is this? Like, who? Like, why would I? You know what I'm saying? And like that has been like for the last year. Like when I look at my daughter, I am so convinced. I said this in my speech. I think no, it was something else. Another speech I did. I talked about how like my daughter, like she knows who she is, and it freaks me out because like I can say, "Oh, baby girl," she's like, "I'm Nina." Like you know, like she knows, and I'm like. What did the Bible say, right? Elijah was just a man, right? So there's nothing so unique about her that it couldn't also be evident in somebody else. So I'm like, wait a minute. So God, we knew, right? And then this would trip me out. I was reading Jeremiah, and it was talking about how I have been your God since the womb. And I was like, wait a minute. I knew you.
I knew you.
Girl, I knew it. Look at that bassy. I knew you. And I thought I had to go out to get with you. I knew you. So I'm late. I'm so late. And I look at her all the time like, we knew. And the devil made us think that we didn't know. Perfect example. I was just talking to a mentor 2 weeks ago, and I was like, yo, I'm tripping out because of this, because of that. I keep hearing this. And she was like, yo, you have a pure heart. And the enemy keeps trying to make you believe that no, you don't actually have a pure heart. And I was like, that is so like the work that you do. Like I know, but you keep trying to trick me into thinking that I don't know because I'm so close to really being confident that I know. That's so so evil, God. All right.
I'm so close.
But we know. Why would I send you down here and you don't know?
Come on.
Why would I? Then this will really trip me out. The fact that we knew him and we knew who we were, right? So he makes Adam, right? And tell me if I'm not exegeting this right, correct me. I will. Tell me.
Shut up.
This is what I thought. So I'm looking at the text and I'm like, God, like prove it. Show me another way. How is it that we knew? How is it that we knew? And how did we know? Show me that we knew. So he makes Adam, and then he gives him instructions, right, to go do the stuff, right? But like we're naturally inquisitive. We naturally don't like taking orders, right? For the most part. But he puts Adam in the garden and immediately starts barking orders. And Adam just does it.
Yeah, it does.
Why would you listen to somebody you don't know?
Come on.
Is that right?
No, yeah, that's exactly right.
I was in my office screaming. I was like, first of all, I'm supposed to be working, but I was like, no, wait a second.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute. We knew you.
We knew you.
We knew you. Who you listen to that you don't know? You be like, who is you?
Yeah.
Who is you? Let me see your receipts. Who is you? I was out of training, and this man hopped on and was like, yo, so we're not going to turn on our Zoom cameras? And I was like, I don't even know you. I'm not going to do it just because I don't know you.
I mean, but he says that before I formed you in your mother's womb,
I knew
knew you. Like, I mean, like it's he says it over.
And Adam just listens.
And Adam listens.
He just does it.
Because he knew him.
Yo.
Girl, listen.
That's it. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
It don't even matter.
I'm just excited. I knew that's
wow.
he's so good. Like,
So when do we come to not know him?
when?
Yeah,
I don't know
like-
if I'm at that part of my research. I don't know. Do I lie? I don't fully know that part. You should tell me. I don't know the quite when, but I know a lot of work is done to undo what has been done.
It is.
Yeah. Like even from probably even from the womb, right? Like I know that I felt no, I can't. It happens early. I know that.
It does
That's
happen
it.
early.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, obviously, when sin came into the world, though, like the Bible says, it separated us from the Father. So, and when you're separate and you're no longer hearing that voice, that familiar voice, the longer you're separate from them, the less distinct the voice becomes until you no longer recognize it. I mean, you can just pretty much go from there.
Yo. Amen. This is a sermon.
It's for you.
You're welcome.
Come on,
Wow,
Apostle.
you take that.
Yeah.
You take that.
It's all yours. Okay, so I'm so loving this, mainly because I love that you kept saying like I'm introvert, because I am too. People don't always believe me. I'm like, oh no. I'd rather be home by myself in my bed.
Because you're gonna leave here exhausted, aren't you?
Extremely exhausted. I'll be like, oh, they're like, what are you doing? You just talk to somebody. You understand how much energy that took.
Yeah.
Because the us introverts with extrovert tendencies, like that's pretty much what we are, right? We give all of our everything to the greater audience, like yes, and I got it, and I'm all up here, and then I get home like, oh my God, I can't.
Yeah.
That crashes. So I just want you to know that it's been very refreshing having you here, because you're just like me, and I'm in this regard, because we clearly are. I'm like nothing. I'm not as great as you, because you are awesome. So I want everybody to make sure that you follow Brittany on all social media platforms at Brittany Barber Speaks. She is at Brittany Barber Speaks. And before I go, I want to kind of segue. I want to say that real quick in the middle, because I want to ask you, in your many roles, your mom, your wife, your community leader, you're a speaker, you're just speaking at my daughter's event, then everybody else's event, the library,
The world.
like the Brittany Barber Speaks.
Global.
So how do you make time for all of your many roles? How do you balance it? What is your balance? Because also I want to talk about self-care, and I want to get into that, because this was the year I made a decision to begin taking care of me. I don't know what's happening.
It's a lot of laughter. It's dry.
It's dry. This is the year I decided I was going to take better care of myself.
Okay.
So I started working out. I now work out 5 days a week. I now have a much healthier diet. I now check out like, no, I'm going to go home and go to bed. I'm not going to stay here and entertain, because my husband loves to tell me I'm entertaining. I'm sick of entertaining y'all. Like,
yeah.
I'm not a jester in the King's Court. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and take that my bag. I'll go home. And I'm learning how to be okay with making sure I take care of the temple God gave me.
Yeah.
Because before, it's just like I got to give, and not really take care of this. But if I don't take care of me, I won't have anything left to give. Mm-hmm. And I found I had run out on many occasions. And so I'm now in a process of trying to not just take care of myself, but get other women to recognize, hey sis, you're gonna have to take care of you. You have a little bitty baby. And I'm like, God bless your ministry. I wouldn't be able to make it. And I realize I'm significantly older. So I'm like, I wouldn't be able to make it right now with a little bit. Like, it's enough with the eighth. I'm like, So what are you doing now to take care of Brittany?
Yeah.
How can you help some other people take care of themselves? Or are you still trying to figure that out?
No. So here's my strategy, and I've just landed at this, because if you had asked me 3 months ago, I'd have been like, no idea. The current strategy is, like, I have to be at his feet. That's it. Because I don't know how to do it all. Like, I don't. And I remember talking to friends, like, there's too much on the plate, and he keeps throwing ideas at me, and it's too much. And I know he's not giving it to me to capsize me.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want me to do with it? Because, like, I got a crazy type faith. So I'll be like, oh, I heard it, do it. Or I heard it, do it, right? And that's just not manageable. So right now, like, I'm at that place where, like, if I know now, I'm off if I haven't been with him in, like, 48 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. So I am a weeper. I am a crier. I really get, like, I'll be in my car now singing, like, God, I'm so glad I cannot do this without you. Like, I'm so glad that I'm so weak. Like, I'm so glad that, like, you about to do this thing, because I can't, right? I'm about to see you again, because what, like, the week of the U46 thing, I had a project for school that I didn't learn about till the week before. I had to read 2 books. I had to work with a group to get a presentation together. I had a work presentation that I had to get done, and I still had to working on the speech, right? And I was like, like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And so I lit up my number one strategy. I cried before my dad. Like, this is too much. I can't. I cannot. And so now we're at this place in our relationship where he knows she gonna come and cry, and she gonna freak out. And then when she's done crying, I'm gonna give her instructions. And not even address my tears. That's the rude part. Like, he wanted to be like, oh. So that's the spiritual side, right? So, like, stay at his feet, right? And my pastor always talks about, like, the higher you go, the lower you need to be. So, like, I'm just learning how to master staying low. And then I have accountability partners now. So I had been praying for the longest time, like, God, I need a mentor. And God was like, I'm your mentor. But this year, I get mentors, right? So I have several mentors that, like, give me due dates, that check me, that will, like, call me out if I look trifling, if I'm snapping at people, if I whatever, like my husband being one of them. Like I have people that have the clearance to call me out. And without the feet and without the friends that will check me and all that, like, there's just no way.
Wow, I love it. And I think one of the biggest things that we need, which is what I'm developing now, is accountability partners for this thing. And that's now, one of the things, obviously, staying at his feet is a given for me. Like, I can't, we're not going to make it unless we actually, the truth is, if you don't spend time with him, you have nothing anyway. To give, You have nothing. But one of the things I'm doing differently is the accountability. And, like, the ladies that I have surrounding me, and they're like, okay, no, it's time to go exercise. Let's go, Prophet. Like, we got to go right now. Like, oh, I'm tired today. Excuse me. I have throat. But I was like, she was like, no, I'm tired today. I'm like, no, you have to go work out. Let's go. Let's get this Shanti. We'll be doing the beach body.
Yes, Shanti. Yes.
Get on my nerve.
I love him.
I can't stand him.
I love him. Yes.
I want to choke him. I'm like, Boy, if I don't get this beach body after this thing, like, get on my nerve. But they be like, no, let's go do it. We gotta get this T25, let's get this insanity. And I'm like, but I can't. But having the accountability though in these areas, and even with our foods, no, you can't eat that. Like that's not a part of this diet. Like we have goals, we have to stick with it, and this is how. Learning how to please God in the mundane, learning how to please God with what seems normal, what we've deemed normal. Like, no, I want to please Him even in here and even in my temple and how I give like that. You know, before it was optional. It was like, I mean, does He really care about that? Like, I am doing all that. We pray, we talk. And He ain't really mentioned it in our talks. Like, so do I have to like...
Right. Like, give me a commandment if you want me to lift the weight. Like,
if you want me to do that, you should probably say that verbatim. And then I'll go ahead and he was like, but Tiff, like, but I want all of you. And that includes that. So what you going to do?
That part. I got to work on that too.
Yeah. So, you know, it was anyway. So I want to make sure that for everyone who's watching that you recognize that the Lord wants to spend time with you so that He can tell you how He wants to take care of you. We use the term self-care, but it's really a God care. How He cares enough about you to show you ways to fix some of the areas that you need to be fixed so that you will have enough to give to other people. It's really an apostolic work, but it's the God care. And that kind of God care is where He'll show you how you can slow down, how you can slow up, how you can actually do things to take care of the temple that He gave you so that when you're sitting at His feet, He'll give you instructions. He probably won't wipe your tears in the way that people be saying that He do.
Basically.
But He will give you what you need, though. And it's something that I want to make sure that we do a lot, especially this month. And in the chat, write us. Let us know, how are you listening to the Father and taking care of yourself? Like, what is He doing in your life right now so that you can encourage somebody else who's watching right now who needs some tips? They're like, listen, I'm struggling. I'm on this struggle bus in this area and I'm failing. My health is failing. You know, my body is falling apart. There's some things that need to happen. And I think the first thing, obviously, is sitting at the feet of the Father. And He would tell you exactly what you need to do first. And I'm really adamant about this because for years in this particular area of my life, it was just like, okay, I'm just going to do this. I'm about to just, you know, do this Daniel fast. And then in this Daniel fast, I'm going to run 3 miles a day. And then and it never worked. And it was never sustainable. And so this year I was like, so what I'm going to do is, I'm gonna wait for you. You gonna tell me what I'm gonna do? Because you know everybody started having all these plans. 2021, we gonna knock off all this pandemic weight, blah blah blah. And so then in January, I was like, well, what am I gonna do? The Lord said, why don't you go just exercise for 30 minutes, just do some sit-ups, And I literally have been step by step just allowing Him to tell me what to do next. And it has been very rewarding. Knowing that I'm following His plan because I'm able to stick with it.
And you look good.
Like, thanks, I'm trying.
You look like extra moisturized too. I walked in, I was like, you all buttered up this? You look
I cannot deal with you.
Looks good.
She said extra moisturized. So you see why I love her. So, I mean, just so everybody is clear, you see why I love her. And I hope you all have come to love her too because she is super dope, like just amazing. Be on the lookout for Exhausted Yet Pursuing. We are excited about that. And anything else that Brittany is doing, please make sure you follow her on @BrittanyBarberSpeaks. Make sure you look out for the Monday is Tuesday ever. She is out here encouraging us all to really be leaders for Christ with a sure apostolic thrust that we're going to talk about later on. So I had to make sure I put that in there for those of you who are watching. Thank you for joining us tonight on Tea Time. It has been a ball, a blast. Thank you for coming in. This has been one of the funnest shows I've ever done. I mean, one of the most fun shows I've ever done. So make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to this broadcast, to this channel. We are excited here at Tea Time with Tiff, and I love sharing every moment with you every second and fourth Sunday evening. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Have a good night.
Tea time, tea with Tiff. Tea time, we're gonna talk about it. Tea time, take a sip. It's time to wind down, time to wise up. Discussing life, exploring the word, gaining wisdom with encouraging words. It's time for Tea